Aloha and welcome to MOONdaze every Monday here on New Paradigm Healing Academy Facebook group. My name is Michelle Jericho Poplar of Queen Mabsy LLC. I am your Akashic Astrologer. What that looks like is I channel from below uploads from the cosmic center of the galactic as I tell you what I see when I look at the sky map, which is, I use Western tropical astrology if you want to know, and I also use points like the galactic center and asteroids and fixed stars when I look at your individual birth chart. So I can tell you how the timing of the planets are going to affect your moods. And that's why we call this MOONdaze, because, well, the moon rules our feelings and we like to know where that's at. Changes around every day and a half, 2 days. And more tourists coming to Hawaii to experience this beautiful place. So, don't mind me, I live right next to the beautiful Honolulu International Airport, which is just right across the harbor here. I live in Eva Beach, beautiful Eva Beach. Anyway, hi Mom! Aloha! My mom's here. So, have you been feeling, we just had, so in hindsight, beyond the hindsight that was Capricorn season, we are now in welcome to Aquarius. So happy soul's return to all of the Aquarius. Now, was it just me, or did Capricorn season seem like super long? Like, it was both short but also long. The reason being is that we had these personal planets. We had Venus, the Sun, Mercury, and Mars all hanging out. Also, there was the asteroid Pallas Athena all hanging out in Capricorn over the last week, and they all, boop, were interacting with that beautiful new moon that we had over the weekend in Capricorn. Now, if you felt very sleepy, that could have been because all of those personal planets, which are our lower chakras, which would be Mars is our root, Mercury is more of our, Mercury is our mind, Venus is kind of like what we love, our hearts, and our sacral. The Sun is like the seat of our soul. So think about the heart, but the high heart, like what our soul embodied to become in this life. Now, what occurred for us was all these planets were stationed together. Mars being the masculine energies, Venus being feminine energy, hanging out with the Sun. And what was unique about what was occurring for us was that Venus was in the lead. She's ahead of the game. She's like, what do we value? Because Venus rules what we value. As she has moved first into Aquarius on January 17th, as of today, Monday, January 19th, she is conjunct the planet Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto rules transformation. So how are we transforming what we love and value today? Now I'm going to pull up my handy dandy charts. So I just kind of hopped on here without really preparing because I was doing other stuff, but here we go. Today's planets. Boop. So, as of today, January 19th, we have, oh yeah, so we're still technically in Capricorn, 29th degree, but over this 24-hour period, we'll be moving into Aquarius season. Now, we have Venus and Pluto together at 3 degrees. 3 is the degrees of beliefs. So, beliefs, core beliefs. What core beliefs of our values, Venus, are we transforming, Pluto? The moon has already crossed over this point, so we already have felt moon feelings. What is occurring with our values? So I'm going to give you some. So, next up is the sun. So our soul, the seat of our soul, the sun, soul, is now going to be transformed next. That date when the sun conjuncts Pluto is January 23rd. Mercury, first, before the sun, will move in to Aquarius from Capricorn. So we've been looking at the structures and the systems, Capricorn. How are we authorities in these parts of our, how are we taking inner authority of our lower energy centers? Capricorn transit, the Capricorn transit with the stellium of planets over that new moon was activating our inner authority. So our inner CEOs, and making them remember parts of ourself that do serve and dissolve with Neptune and Saturn and Pisces, trying to all of this, activating a dissolving of old root paradigms, belief systems, 3 degrees Aquarius in the collective and in the individual. What are we no longer pulling into the new paradigm? What is dissolving and what new structures are we building? It's very simple from here. However, it's also going to be interesting, and I encourage everyone to get curious. Oh, hang on. Hang on. The recycling truck decided to come now just when I took, okay. Really? Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'll be right back. Just enjoy the scenery. And then look, watch me. I'm going to take out the recycling. Oh my gosh, so that's actually a perfect metaphor. Everything is happening for me right now. So, what old, now like don't think of like all those things that we've learned over the eons since Atlantis are coming up for us. So the fears that we keep repeating as society, false evidence appearing real. Oh no, it's gonna be a big catastrophe and all this stuff. All the catastrophizing that comes from the nervous system, which is ruled by Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. And we have Saturn and Neptune in Pisces reminding us about divine timing. Now, it might not be clear to us what Neptune at the high degrees of Pisces even means. What exactly is being dissolved? Do not be concerned about knowing in your mind what from the old paradigms is being dissolved, because over the next 2 weeks, over the end of January, everything will become perfectly clear as to what no longer serves, what is being dissolved, and what is being recycled, as I just took out the recycling, because it will be transmuted, right? We're not losing anything. All of the things that happened to us were for us, so that we could evolve. When fear or scary, spooky things happen to come up for us over these dates, which I'll tell you again, over the next 2 weeks, they are opportunities to shift timelines, especially if you happen to encounter something that you used to perceive as something scary, or something that makes you angry or sad. But especially when it comes to fear programs or false evidence appearing real. Why? Because these transits are happening over the planet Pluto. Transformation and the unknown are probably one of the most terrifying things that humans experience in the third density. We're super scared of change. We are terrified nervous system ways of the unknown. We've been programmed that way. But what if the new paradigm and the new nervous systems that we are building and evolving into, because we're no longer being chased by saber-toothed tigers most of the time, and we do not need to perceive if somebody comments on our post and says something mean as a threat to my life, right? Which I'm very fortunate, everyone's super kind on these posts, but if I ever encounter that, I'll be like, curious, how was that for me? What reflection of my inner negative self-talk is appearing for me when somebody says something that I do not prefer or agree with? Time to get curious. It's time to explore and get curious, rather shutting down, suppressing, repressing, and denying, as we traverse this great cosmic shift. Because the shift is real and the shift is happening, and what we're going to see and what we're already experiencing is Neptune at the 29th degree of Pisces. We have all of this technology showing us instantly everything that's all over the world. You're able to connect to me right now, here. I'm in Hawaii, and everyone else is everywhere else. Hi, Bhavana. Yay, see, Bhavana's in California. My mom's on Kauai. You might be viewing this from New York City a little bit later, or wherever you're at in the world. But really, none of what we really truly are experiencing in this third density technically is real. Light can either be a particle or a wave. In third density, we have the opportunity, minute by minute, to choose love or fear. The sign Aquarius, as we go into the sign Aquarius, it's two intersecting lines. That looks a little bit more like a wave, no? But they could be two coexisting timelines. A lot of people are talking about they're in their reality, I'm in that reality, paradigm shift, consciousness split. I don't know what that is, if that's 100% to be true. But I know I have plenty of opportunities. And I've had plenty of opportunities, especially over the last 5 years. We've all had plenty of opportunities to choose whether we are experiencing something that we love or we're scared of. And as we get these scary things that happen to pop up, what we have the opportunity to remember is that we actually have a choice on how we perceive what is happening for us. And that is because generally the things that make us afraid in this dimension, unless it's like a real emergency like fire or whatever, by all means, get out of the house, do what you gotta do. However, most of the things we're looking at the news and we're like, oh, that's scary. Oh, this is that. Remember, Neptune rules visuals and dreams. It is now direct. And it is going to be moving as of January 26th into the sign of Aries. So it's going to move from water, from a 14-year transit in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. We're really dissolving the old nervous system responses. And as Neptune goes into Aries for the next 14 years, it's going to be activating our bodies. So all that work it did in our consciousness, Pisces rules consciousness, it will be moving into our bodies. So how is it going to be reprogramming our actual physical nervous system? So enjoy, I challenge myself included, to actually get curious and excited when something that I don't prefer, or something that used to make me quite afraid, and even if I do have a nervous system's response of like, ooh, scary, ooh, uncertain, ooh, reprogramming myself to go, whoa, curious, whoa, exciting, using different language to activate my parasympathetic nervous system so that I'm not in fight, flight, or freeze, but rather able to have the ability to respond, responsibility, to have responsibility rather than reactivity. We're elevating from the 7th density energy centers of our 7 chakra systems to have more level of awareness of 9 energy centers, which is why New Paradigm Healing Academy is offering a course called the Ascension Course, and I'll put the links in the show notes below after I'm done with the live. where you can come together in community with like-minded individuals who are aware of this dimensional shift. And what we go over in this course is how each chakra or each energy center is a dimension, and how do we live a multidimensional existence while still simultaneously embodying our soul, informed soul in third density. Because we're still going to be experiencing third density as we shift into the Aquarian age. It takes about 100 years for the full evolution. So we're laying the foundation. We conscious beings are living the example and laying the foundation for the next generation to become lighter, and their nervous systems are going to be even more skillful than what we even have now. So good job everyone for showing up to our new Paradigm Healing Academy lives, because the more we gather in community with like minds, hearts, coming into alignment and sharing our experiences, the more it becomes normalized, and the more conscious conversations we have with individuals, and that ripples out. Like aloha means to be in the presence of breath. So it really allows us to become fully present in every moment, regardless of what shows up on our happy little rectangles that sometimes make us unhappy when we see things that are showing up on those algorithms that we do not prefer. Now, it's funny that they use the word algorithms, because in the sign of Taurus, there's a star called Agol, which represents the Medusa's head in the Perseus constellation. Now, the planet Uranus has been transiting over that and activating all of that. So I've been very curious about how, like, everyone talks about algorithms, and I'm like, oh, this going over the Agol star. It's just so literal. It's funny. And I'm also interested as to why they prefer the elites, the people who are pushing the buttons and controlling the media. Is like, okay, great. So once we start like shifting ourselves at an individual level and then rippling out into our community, Aquarius, the power of the people, Pluto and Aquarius, with this last 2 weeks of January, the people are going to be from their lower chakras. That's it. We don't prefer that reality. We don't prefer or love Venus, what we're experiencing. The sun goes over. The sun goes over Pluto. The sun says, our high soul of collective says, oh, we don't prefer. My soul does not prefer that. Then Mercury, the mind, on the 22nd crosses over Pluto. I don't think I agree with that paradigm. And then Mars on the 27th. Mars on the 27th is going to cross over Pluto, and then you're going to see actions. Some misaligned actions, but we at an individual level, and this is all about what we can control, because we can't control what we experience in the little rectangles, what's bombarded at us, but what we can control is how we respond to what is coming to us. We can control how we show up in community with our neighbors, in the grocery store, on your walk. We can control that. We can't control what world leaders do. Or can we? If enough of us shift perspective, because the people are a collective, Aquarius, and we all go along in the same wavelength of choosing love over fear on an individual level, in your families, in your communities, guess what? There's a possibility that that ripples out, because the more the new paradigm way, Neptune, Saturn in Pisces, and the North Node in Pisces, the more we envision in our lower root, or from our root to our heart, and really hold that in our center in a timeless space, we just may experience more of what we prefer. And if we don't, if we experience as these planetary shifts on January 19th, January 23rd, January 22nd, January 27th, we're going to have opportunities to choose love over fear on those dates. Both first start as individual and be the change you wish to see. Embody love no matter what, even if you experience things that you don't love, and hold that grounded down to the iron core crystal of the earth. Breathe. Allow yourself to feel completely and utterly. Allow the feeling of false evidence appearing real or fear. Breathe through it, honor it, name it. I'm very terrified of bees. For example, somebody's scared of bees, and they encounter a whole bunch of bees. Oh, that might be how it shows up for somebody. Okay. Get away from the bees. Oh, you're safe. Breathe through it. Allow yourself to acknowledge, hey, bees definitely scare me. As long as we keep choosing love over fear, our reality will shift to meet us at that level. Do not lower or meet people at a lower energy. Like, say somebody's around you and they're in a low vibration of anger, fear, sadness. You do not need to lower yourself down to their timeline. You can still, Age of Aquarius, the intersecting lines, you can stay up in your higher octave, like as long as you're aligned and grounded, you can stay up here and hold that space. You can drop them a line or an anchor or a piece of knowledge and say, hey, I'm available for support. Hi, baby. No, not yet. It's still on my Facebook. I'm like, here's Coraline. You want to say hi? No? Okay. I didn't hear back. Back to you. I love you. Sure, I'll be done in a few. So, sorry, mommin'. Anyway, no sorries, no shoulds or sorries in 2026 and beyond. That's my goal for myself. Starry, my friend Tiffany says that. Starry, I can't show up. I have to take care of some things. So let's go over where the moon is in the other transits. So just make sure you mark down those dates of the Pluto transits, because those will be heavy activations. And if you're curious about what sector of your personal life that is affecting the Pluto and Aquarius with the planets moving over, I can definitely help you out with that. I'm an Akashic Astrologer, so I can look at your personal birth chart and tell you exactly what sector of life, as in house placement, it is happening for you. And that actually hones down, your plans for the last 2 weeks of the month. Now, as of today, the 19th, we're going back to the moon. The moon is in Aquarius with the planets moving into Aquarius. So we're really we're having some premonitions, feelings of how these things are going to be unfolding for us. So you're starting to feel these shifts that are coming. As of January 20th, 21st, the moon will move into Pisces. It's going to be activating the purpose, where the North Node is, and 11 degrees Pisces. Now it's going to be really moving into what is the integrity of our divinity, and really activating our feelings of the unknown, like what is my spiritual path. You're going to be highly activated in dream time and with the knowing. The moon will cross over Saturn and Neptune, feeling out the divine timing. Since it's trying to Lilith and Sagittarius, you might have some unconscious fears over what you're learning. So remember, fears, false evidence appearing real, always an opportunity to shift timelines. And how you shift timelines and activate, elevate, is choosing to go in, feel the feeling of fear, allow it, remembering that you're safe, and choosing self-love in every moment. Is activating the love over the fear, particle versus wave, will shift the timeline every time, even if you're in the most terrifying situation. So just remember that as we go through the last 2 weeks of January. Can't stress that enough. And I don't like to use the word stress. Emphasize. Reprogramming our self-talk and our verbiage is part of reprogramming the nervous system. And here, that's one we mostly focus on in our classes at New Paradigm Healing Academy, is how to speak more skillfully to ourselves and then subsequently to others. Moving on from the 22nd to the 23rd, the moon goes into Aries, crosses over. Now over that overnight, you might be like, whoa, divine timing, feeling that out. And the moon will also cross over the asteroid Chiron, which is the healer and the teacher. So what are we learning about our bodies? What are we feeling about our bodies? And meanwhile, through all of this, one consistent hum or doom, it's going to be like a doom, 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 is going to be that Uranus-Lilith opposition. Uranus and Taurus on that Agol star. So all those Agol rhythms on the interwebs are going to be shown to the collective. So just remember all of those video algorithms, doom scrolling, maybe avoid that. Allow yourself to reprogram what you consume when it comes to media. Turn off the news. Allow yourself to be informed, but don't let it lower your vibration, because again, we are in an opportunity to shift the media we prefer by not engaging in what we don't prefer to see. As of the 25th, Sunday, so Saturday into Sunday, the moon will move from Aries into Taurus. That's when the moon will cross over Uranus and Taurus, and we might really see something we don't feel that is in alignment in regarding our manifestations. And there will be a trine to that stellium of planets in Aquarius. And what else is happening for us on the 25th into the 26th is Neptune is finishing up its lesson of the 14-year transit in Pisces and the 160 of something years transit it has had around our soul system. So the collective, as far as most of us in this, all of us in this is the last time Neptune will be in Pisces for our lifetimes in this divinity and form, third density. So what have we learned over the last 14 years? Pencils down, test will be done. Results will occur for us as the Neptune goes into Aries on January 26th and never to return for another 160 years. Pretty significant. In February of 2026, we will probably be getting our test results. I am calling that that by the time Neptune and Saturn, the teacher, Saturn and Neptune conjunct on February, oh yes, it's February 20th, they're going to be like, boop. The teacher, Saturn, and Neptune, Spirit, are going to be like, okay, here's your results. So get excited, because you are going to get clarity on all of what we've learned over the next month. Exciting. So going back to the present, this week, what is happening for us since the new moon this last weekend is preparing us for the Pluto activations, boop, 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 of the lower chakras. How are we transforming those old belief patterns and dissolving the root paradigms, pulling them up by the root. If there's any opportunity that to easily pull up old root paradigm belief systems, core belief systems that no longer serve us, you, me, all of us in the collective, these last 2 weeks of January are powerful activation opportunity, especially if you encounter something you don't prefer. Opportunities to pull up old things that no longer serve. Pluck them out. Oh, name it. That's scary. I don't prefer that anymore. I choose differently. I choose love. Whew, dissolve it. Allow it to just show itself and look at it and be like, oh yeah, I don't like that. I don't prefer that anymore. Easier said than done, or it is easy. We can choose. Yes, Bob, it is a God idea, right? So Aquarius is about thinking outside of the box. It is ruled, still ruled by Saturn, the teacher, and Uranus, the disruptor, or the innovator. Uranus is the planet of expect the unexpected. Surprises. We like surprises. So instead of labeling things as unknown, we can label them as like, ooh, I can't wait for my surprise. So I'm excited for these last 2 weeks of January. I'm excited to see what shifts are going to happen. So allow the shift to happen and dissolve the shit. Allow it to become fertilizer. Send it down, ground it down, all of those feelings of fear, and allow us to rise, allow yourself to rise to the new paradigm, and each moment to moment. And don't should on ourselves if we happen to slip on a banana peel and be in a false evidence appearing real moment, because it happens. Because we're still in the third density, and we still agree to it, and we are still navigating it, because there is a lot of fun to experience here, and it is happening for us. Anyway, if anybody has any questions about how this is activating you and your chart, do reach out. Also, the other date to mark on your calendars now is February 17th. February 17th, it's an eclipse. Soul's eclipse in Aquarius. Now, they have been saying that it's one of the longest eclipses that are going to happen, and I'll speak more on those energies in next week's broadcast. But just so that you can mention it on your calendars. Now, when a solar eclipse happens, that's the feelings, the moon, and the sun, the high soul, high heart. The moon eclipses our heart, the feelings kind of boop from our point here in tangible reality, third density earth, and we have to look at our feelings. And usually that is, well, feelings we suppress, repress, and deny. Shadow feelings. So, being that it is a very long eclipse, and we are in a collective shift, the collective is going to be looking at its collective feelings. Be like, you know what, all those things, because we're going to have all this activation of these transformations when it comes to our lower chakras, as those personal planets of Venus, Mercury, Sun, and Mars cross over Pluto, the planet of transformation. Well, when the eclipse happens, guess what? Nobody's going to be able to suppress, repress, and deny their feelings, right? So, we all can take that opportunity as we've built our tolerance, built our levels, built ourselves up to raise our vibration together, to go to your people that are in your immediate sphere and be like, whoa, I don't prefer that. Let's choose different. Boop. Shift the paradigm. Because what we can control is our own soul. So, what does a sun do? A sun is a star. What does a sun do? It shines. Yeah, it's a shiny thing. Where is a sun located? In space. In the unknown. Each one of us is a beacon of light in swimming in the unknown. So when we have a level of awareness that each one of us is our own soul, swimming around together in what is ultimately unknown makes it less scary, right? Yes, it tries to hide, but the light is bright. Exactly. There's no hiding when you're a sun. You're just like constantly shining until like you decide to like transition into a black hole or whatever. You know, like it's just basically you're constantly regenerating yourself. Our cells regenerate. Our cells completely regenerate. I was listening to Deepak Chopra's book, Quantum Healing. And our cells regenerate every 6 months or 6 weeks. Don't quote me on that, but our cells regenerate. So the sun is constantly regenerating. So that's an exciting idea for me as we explore what from the third density, what fourth density or fourth dimension, heart space, also known as time-space continuum, as we move into being more aware of our soul, Venus, and sun, high soul, what is activating and what timeline, how we can jump timelines by being fully present from an aligned and grounded space in Earth. So in order to ascend, we do need to take a look at our lower chakras. There's no ascension until you are grounded, for example, because otherwise you'd be spiritual bypassing. Soul evolution of this Aquarius transit, the shadow aspects of the small self being highly fixated and controlling things and mental ideas and alienation, bypassing emotions, isn't going to level us up. That's old paradigm. New paradigm is feeling your feelings, allowing the feelings to be felt, dissolving them. And taking them as an opportunity to up-level and shift timelines and ripple out the beauty that we prefer to see. Yes, we did get a plasma blast tonight. We get a plasma blast tonight. Yes, so that means that the sun is going to go have its little, it's going to be like, ew, oh yeah, patooey, let me give you a plasma blast. That's kind of like a solar flare, yes? So, I'm going on. So, feel sense 100% to be true that we are experiencing some powerful transformation energies all the time. But it's just to emphasize that our soul system is putting on a little bit of a show in the external reality, giving us opportunities this week and next as we traverse the end of January and into eclipse season. Opportunities to shift from fear into love and activate new paradigm ideas. So keep doing the practice and remember yourself. Allow yourself to feel the feelings, because what we feel it to heal it. And I love you all. Till next moon day, I will see you then. Aloha! Yay!